Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Hope and Healing with Christina, restoring hope one heart at a time. I am so honored to be here tonight. I am so excited to be here this evening. We are going to have a good old time. Now, you guys know that we're always looking to eat healthier or be healthier, and sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Why? Because we are limited in our mobility, but we have a friend of RHM of Hope and Healing here, and she is going to talk to us and show us some things about moving with even with limited mobility. So first, I want to shout out everybody who's on tonight. I see Yvonne. I see Tanya. Good evening, Yvonne. Hi, blessed evening to you, Tanya. Wonderful, wonderful. I see my husband. Hello to you, my dear. And Miriam, God bless you, precious family. God bless you. God bless you. And whoever else may be on or watching the replay, thank you for joining Hope and Healing with Christina. I want to be able to give you hope and healing. Why? Because we are in that place, right? We want to have hope that we can still lose weight or be healthier and live a healthier lifestyle even with limited mobility. Good evening, Charlene. Are you ready? She says she is ready. Okay, I hope you're ready, because you know Pandora K don't play no games. She don't play no games here. Yes. How many of you before MS, before lupus, before anything that had went on in your life, how many of you had went to the gym and all that? I know, even diagnosed with MS, because it's been 25 years. So a lot of my adult life, I had been diagnosed with MS, right? And so I was a little bit more mobile back then. And I would do these classes. I would do these swim classes, aerobic, like aerobic, aqua aerobics, whatever you call them. And I would be in the water, and it would be so much fun. And it would be beneficial. I remember I used to be spastic and have a lot of spasms and everything. And I noticed that when I did the water aerobics, that's what it's called, I would get in there and I would feel better afterwards. I would like move better. I didn't have any spasms. I felt good, and I knew that it was good. But how many of us also start something and then we fall off? Hello. I've started things, and I started a healthy regime, and I would go on YouTube and put the YouTube on my TV and sit in a chair and try to do aerobics that way, try to get myself fit that way. But you fall off. So we also need to be able to be consistent and be intentional in our ways and how we get together and be healthier and be fit. We all want to. We know that when you are not as mobile, weight gain is inevitable because you're eating and then you're not moving. We know that stiffness and all those other things that come. We're going to talk about all that, but we are going to get into it in a little bit. You used to fast walk, Tanya. All right, let me see. I'm trying to picture Tanya fast walking. I can see it, Tanya. You was doing one of these things here. Yes, I love it. Look, it's funny. Before anything happened to us, we were more active. I used to walk too. I used to go to the track, I remember, and walk around the track a couple of times. So we all had our, regimes and what we used to do, or what we used to, try to do every single week, or every single, every day, however you did it. Whatever you used to do, we all had something to get us moving. And then immobility happened. And then we were not able to do as much. And so now, hey, Yvonne, we are, at a point where we're just like, okay, what can we do to get ourselves moving, or to move? Just even a little bit, just to keep ourselves up. And so our next guest, we know her as Pandora K, Coach Pandora K. She's a fitness trainer. She is going to help us get ourselves right. Okay. And we are going to introduce her now. I have some questions for y'all, and then we are going to get on board. Hello, Miss Pandora K. Coach Pandora's in the house.
Amen. I'm so happy to be with you guys tonight. I am excited.
Me too. And before we start, I have some questions. Well, you know what? I want you to introduce yourself.
So I'm Pandora K. I have been a fitness coach for, at this point, 25 years. It basically started with my own weight loss journey over 25 years ago that motivated me to become certified. So I'm certified in nutrition, fitness coaching, mixed martial arts, elder fitness, youth fitness, you name it, all kinds of levels of fitness. And so I'm really excited. And also I've been through a couple of journeys where I've had some very, very serious injuries that I've had to come back from. And so in that process, I have learned how to, keep it moving, and even when I have limited mobility. So I'm really excited to share this tonight.
Oh, wow. I'm excited too, because I know, and you have a testimony, I know that you can relate to us in some ways. And so that's why I was like, come on, we got to get somebody in here that's not just going to be like, come on, 1 and a 2 and a 3. We need somebody that's going to say, I understand, I get it, and here's what you can do. So let's start off with some icebreakers here. Everybody, I want you to answer too. So if you could only choose one, would you rather, and I know your answer to this, never have to exercise again, or eat whatever you want and never gain weight?
Eat whatever I want and never gain weight. That would be my number one wish. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Right? Like, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want to eat whatever? Like, you see that chocolate cake, you can eat it and be like, I'm good.
Exactly. No more restriction.
Come on, everybody. I need y'all to answer that question too. If you could never exercise again, or eat whatever you want and never gain weight, I want to hear your answers. Okay, here's another one. What's your go-to comfort food that you refuse to give up, even on a fitness journey?
I am going to say bread. And
really,
because of that, I want to share with you guys a special product, which I'll share later, because I love breads. I'm from New York. I love my bagels. I love bread. I'm just never going to give it up. That's just what it is. So I learned how to make the switch.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, Charlene said same here. So she would rather eat and never gain weight. Tanya wants to eat and never gain weight. Doris, because the odd one out, she said, I love to exercise. Well, you go ahead, Doris. Exercise, girl. Go ahead, girl.
That's all right.
That's all right. My husband said chicken.
Listen, I ain't mad at him. That chicken is number 2.
Yeah, right? Chicken after all that. Okay. All right. All right, good. And everybody else, what's your comfort? Oh, you're saying your comfort food is chicken? Your comfort food is chicken, babe. I knew he liked chicken. I know he likes chicken, but I didn't know that was his comfort food. What is my comfort food? My comfort food, oh my gosh. You know what? It's funny. I can't even think. I love anything with mashed potatoes.
Okay.
So like if it's baked chicken, mashed potatoes. If it's we had over the weekend we had pot roast in a crock pot and mashed potatoes. So meatloaf, mashed potatoes, you know.
Like mashed
Something mashed potatoes, because to me that's like a comfort. Like if it's a nice cold day,
savory.
yeah,
Yes,
you can do
savory.
anything you want with that. Like, mashed potatoes goes with everything, gosh. Yvonne, you want to eat and never gain weight too. I hear you on that. So who though? Charlena says rice and beans. Oh yeah, that's a good comfort food right there. I love me some rice and beans too.
Definitely.
Latin food. Okay, Latin food. Latin food. Strawberry shortcake. Oh, that's good too.
Delicious.
Oh gosh.
Y'all making me hungry.
Right? So Miriam, she's Puerto Rican, so she said, I could not and cannot say bye to my rice and beans. Yes, indeed. Any type of chicken, my husband said. Yes. And gumbo. Oh, gumbo is good. That's a good one right there. Okay, what is the last? This might be a little time to think, but if we made a theme song for this episode about moving what you can, what upbeat song would you pick to inspire people to get moving? So what's your song? What kind of music do you like to exercise to? I'll put it that way.
I am a Gen Xer that grew up on 70s music. So I would have to say the Bee Gees, like Staying Alive, Night Fever, those kind of songs. I mean, I love my Christian hip hop, but I love to take it back to, if I'm in the gym, definitely Christian hip hop. But when I'm at home, for sure the Bee Gees. I love the Bee Gees.
Okay, night.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Okay. I never knew the words, but I used to like that song.
Right.
We were young when that stuff came out. We were still like, kids. But I used to love that. But Staying Alive. Okay. Everybody knows Stay Alive. Even if you only know that. Really.
That part, you know it.
You try to be funny. Pretty girls walk. Now that's mine, babe. Pretty girls walk like this. This. Yes. You know why? Because I would joke. I haven't said that in a while, but it was a joke for a while. Pretty girls walk like this because I was on a rollator. Because I use a rollator. So I would say, well, pretty girls walk like this with a limp and everything. Yes.
I'm wrong with it.
Come on, everybody, answer that question. What is your good go-to exercise workout song? That would be fun. I like that. And you can't really exercise too much with that. It's not too upbeat, but I would like
sure you can.
You can, yeah. Okay, it's pretty girls. Lift them too. Yes.
Take your time, girl. You get any beat.
Yeah, Charlene said boots on the ground. It's an insider right there.
Boots on the ground. Okay.
Lovely day. Yes.
That's a nice.
Yes, I can see that.
Man, I wish we could have queued up some music because I like.
Right now I could have done that.
Next time.
Next time. See, Charlena said boots on the ground. She sent me a video of chair exercise, and they're doing the boots on the ground with in the chair. And so I thought that was very interesting because it was a lot of this, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a lot right there." You gotta get your arm strength up.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. So, let's start off with your journey. I know you said that you had your own weight loss journey. So, anything that what inspired you to lose the weight? What happened? Wait. She said anything Mark Anthony or Donna Summer is on the radio. Donna Summer, yes, mama. Yes. Donna Summer, yes. Mark Anthony. Yep. Hey, Marla. Oh, Glorious by Martha Stewart. Martha Munizzi. Glorious. Yes. You know what? That's a good one right there, Sandra, because that song is very, you can move a lot with that one. I like
upbeat.
Very upbeat. Very upbeat. All right. So tell us your journey. What started you off on this fitness journey here?
Well, I want to say I was about 17 years old. And I had always been, for the most part, most of my life, like overweight. In high school, I joined the basketball team, so that helped a lot. But I didn't grow up with healthy habits at all. You know, I grew up in a typical Black family. We ate what we ate, we did what we did, and that was it. That was back in the days when Dunkin' Donuts was like $1.99, where you could get a croissant cheese, a coffee, and a donut for like $1.99, and I had that every single day. And so by the time I got into my freshman year of college, I had gained, some people say the college 15, 20. Well, I had gone well over that, and I had gotten to a point at about 300 pounds. So the pivotal moment for me, there was two pivotal moments. The first pivotal moment is I was going into the mall with my friends, and I want to be clear, I never lacked confidence. I was one of those girls that I was like, I look good no matter what, right? My skinny friends, I'd be like, I don't care if y'all skinny, I still look good, right? But I remember one day we were going into the mall and all of my friends were going into one store and I was going into another store. So that was a defining moment for me because I couldn't shop where they went. And so that was the first click. The second click for me is at the time, and I'll admit it, I was dating someone who was really into the gym. And so I kind of started going to the gym because I just wanted to hang out with him. I'll be honest with you. I just wanted to hang out with him. But then I met a trainer there. She's my mentor. Her name is Cynthia. And like, she was like, hey, you know, we became friends. And she's like, hey, I'm doing this program called Bridal Boot Camp. And, you know, I'll train you for free if you like be my protege. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that. And so, you know, through her mentorship and her training me and teaching me the principles, I was able to lose over 100 pounds. And so that's really where it started. And it took 2 years, you know, so it wasn't like a 1, 2, 3, because she really took me through the actual principles. It wasn't like a fad diet or anything like that. We had to make a lot of adjustments. So the first year was me kind of losing the weight. And then the second year was me learning how to strength train and build muscle. And so that really is what it was between my friends and the guy that I was dating at the time. And then a realization that I was young, I was 18. And because of the size that I started thinking to myself, if this is where I am now, where am I going to be in 10, 15, 20 years from now? Because normally as you get older, you tend to gain weight, and that's okay, right? We go through menopause, perimenopause, that kind of thing. So our bodies, we are going to gain weight. But at the point where I was at that time, I didn't have a lot of room to grow, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I definitely understand that. Okay. So, what are some of the most common struggles people face when trying to lose weight with limited movement or disability?
I think it's the mindset that you can't. That's number one, the mindset that you can't, and just lack of knowledge, right?
Okay.
You know, I was a very able-bodied person for a very long time, up until the age of 23. I was in a very bad, well, I won't say it was a car accident because I was driving and I was hit by a truck.
Oh my gosh.
So I was hit by a truck, near-death experience. If it wasn't for someone who had dragged me out of the street, we would not even be having this conversation right now.
Oh my goodness.
So I spent a couple months in the hospital. I went through rehabilitation, and it was in that process because before I was completely able to do kind of whatever I wanted. And then after that accident, I was very limited. In fact, I couldn't really exercise probably for about, I want to say 2 years. So that is where I had to like kind of retrain myself on what I could do. So a lot of times it starts mentally, where people think about, they tend to think about all the things they can't do instead of the things they can do, and let that be the springboard. And I've had multiple injuries. You know, I had a knee injury 3 years ago. My leg was swollen, couldn't even walk down the stairs, like all kinds of different things. And at every juncture, you really have to make a decision. Am I going to give up? Or am I going to work around this until I can do better? So the first thing is having the mindset and the motivation and understanding that focus on what you can do and not what you can't do.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So what is it that you want to tell us right now? Like what is it that we can do? You know, let's start this conversation now, because I know you have some things you want to let us know. So you go ahead. It's all you.
So the first thing that I want to talk about is I want to talk about the things that we can do before we even get into exercise. Because one thing that I learned when you have limited mobility, what you put in your body matters even more, but not so much in terms of going on a diet or being restricted, because that's the first thing that people think. I have to go on a diet, I have to be restrictive, I'm never going to be able to eat the things that I want. And really what it's more about, it's about swapping things out. So I said earlier that I love bread. Like I'm just never going to give it up. It's just not going to happen. And just recently, I've tried different bread products, but just recently I found this product. I'm going to put it up there. It's called Sola, right?
Okay.
Now, I found this, I was by accident. I was just in Walmart. Now, I feel like they sell this in other places, but if you guys are near Walmart, this is where I got this from.
Okay.
First of all, this bread is so savory. Okay, it tastes so good. And it's like 10 grams of protein per slice.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
2 slices of this bread, you are getting 20 grams of protein, and it's very healthy. So it's low in carbohydrates because it has fiber. And if anyone knows the old Atkins diet back in the days where they say, oh, you got the net carbs, so if you got 20 grams of carbs and you got 9 grams of fiber, you're really only eating 11 grams of carbohydrates, which is true, right? So this is a high protein, high fiber. It's not low carbohydrate, it's moderate carbohydrate bread. So, and carbohydrates are important. So this is, you can have 2 slices of this, get 20 grams of protein. If you put some peanut butter on it, if you put jelly on it, if you put 2 slices of turkey on it, if you want to make a grilled cheese sandwich. So this is one of those swaps. So this like bread, so those swaps. Another thing, I got a bunch of stuff for you guys.
That's okay.
I love pasta. So pasta is something that I enjoy. And because I have a child that's an athlete, it's hard to get her to eat regular protein stuff, right? Because
Right.
You gotta like trick them, right? So one of the other products that I love that helps me is this pasta right here. This is Barilla. It's
Okay.
they have all
I've
kinds, and it's a protein pasta. So
okay.
if you eat a cup of this, because it has protein and it's high in fiber, a cup of this is going to make you feel way more satisfied and full than like a regular cup of pasta that has no fiber and no protein in it. So this is a good and this is everything I'm showing you is budget friendly. As I said, this is Walmart. So this is like 3 something. This is like, if you go to BJ's or one of those Whole Food stores, you can get like 5 of these for like $8.
Okay.
And they come mixed. They come penne, spaghetti, angel hair, all the different pastas, everything. So so it's all about swapping, right? It's not about giving up. I don't believe in diets. Anybody who knows me, when people start talking about diets, you will not find me there. Okay, you will find me talking about healthy swaps. So what we eat. And then another product that I like to use now, this one, I literally just found this like 2 days ago. So usually this is a high protein cereal by Quaker Oats. It has 11 grams of protein per serving, but it's savory, right? I'm like you, I like savory food. So I like something that, I could fill the bowl up and, you feel full, you feel good. So this is really good because, of course, this is oatmeal. So it has fiber, it has protein. And usually protein cereals are so expensive. They can be like $8 or $9 a box. This was only like $3.49. So
that looks good. What is it? Oats and chocolate or something like?
But they come with
chocolate and almonds.
Different flavors. So you can find it at your local supermarket. I found it at Walmart, but you can find it at multiple supermarkets. They sell it everywhere. Everywhere. So that's the first thing, right? So we want to do things before we even get to the exercise that's gonna help us. Another thing that I like to do now, I'm not sure if this is gonna work for my perimenopausal or menopausal sisters because I'm entering that season in my life.
I'm there.
Things are changing. But one of the things that I do whenever I've had limited mobility to kind of increase my fat burning is just wear more clothes when I exercise, especially in the wintertime. So like wear a hoodie, wear some sweatpants. I know back in the days, do you remember the solar suits?
Yeah, I remember them. I remember people wearing them, sweating like crazy.
Almost passing out. Now, I'm not saying I recommend that, unless that's something you want to do and you can tolerate it. And even when you do, if you decide to do something like that, you got to drink a lot of water because as much as you're losing, you're dehydrating yourself, so you have to drink water. But just simply wearing more clothing, right? So when I had my injury to my knee and I couldn't do cardio, I couldn't get my heart rate as elevated as I would normally do, and I was doing my chair aerobics, I would just wear like a hoodie, a pair of spandex and like some sweatpants over it, some socks, and sometimes I put on a hat. And then just by you insulating yourself, you're like elevating your temperature. So
Okay.
that's the things that we can do even before we get to the whole, what do I need to do for exercise? Drinking plenty of water, right? Staying hydrated. I always tell everyone, like, water has oxygen and oxygen burns fat. So
Okay.
yeah, water. So
I didn't know it. I never heard that.
yeah,
It has oxygen and oxygen burns fat. Very interesting.
in order for your body to burn fat, there has to be a certain amount of oxygen that is released in your body. And the more water you drink, the more oxygen you have in your body. And the oxygen is part of that fat oxidation process. So that is like super important, super, super important. So that's something we can do. Now, some people talk about doing fasted cardio. I'm not against it. I just feel like it's based on the individual. Like if you need to eat something and that's going to affect how much you're able to work out, I'd rather you eat something, right? Like eat a banana or eat some fruits, eat something with like quick sugar. So that's going to help you. But fasted cardio is a good idea if it's something you could tolerate and you're not going to be hungry. I've been doing fasted cardio for years. So for me, it's easy. But if you need something, it's better for you to have something than not. So those are some things we can do even before. And this is a big one. And I got to work on it myself. Getting sleep. Sleep. We got to sleep.
Child, before we got on here, I just explained to you how tired I was because I had the early shift and I went to bed late. My husband and I stay up late. Pastor Eric and I stay up late. We just do. Because we get I'm at work all day, so I'm in the living room. I don't see him. And we get back there and we start watching movies and all of that kind of stuff. And so I go to bed late and I've been trying to make it a priority to get more sleep.
Sleep is so important. And let me tell you why. A couple things happen when we're tired. The first thing is that our cortisol levels become high because lack of sleep causes a certain amount of stress in our bodies. So then the cortisol, and I don't know if anyone knows what cortisol is, that's one of the hormones that when it's high, our body has a tendency to hold on to fat. So instead of when we eat the food, digests and break down into glucose. I'm not going to get all scientific, but that glucose, instead of going into your bloodstream and going into your working muscles, what it does is the insulin takes the sugar out of the bloodstream and sends it into the fat cells to be stored. And cortisol is one of those hormones that when it's high in the body, the insulin is more likely to do that with the sugar. Instead of using it for energy, storing it as fat. So that's why sleep is important. Also, when we're tired, subconsciously, our body craves more sugar. Right? So we're tired and we're looking for a pick-me-up. This happens to me every day around 1 o'clock.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Our body subconsciously craves more sugar. So a lot of times our sugar cravings and I'm not going to say carbohydrate cravings because we need carbohydrates, right? So that's a conversation for another day, but we do need carbohydrates. Okay. But I'm talking about eating it in excess, right? It's like, I experienced it today. My day usually starts at 3:30 a.m. in the morning. So by the time 1 o'clock comes, I'm crashing. But I know that about myself. So I make sure I have some things around me, like the bread. The bread, like some little cereal, like something to give me a pick-me-up, because I already know that subconsciously, because I'm tired, I'm going to start to crave sugar. And if I don't have something else around me, now I'm looking for candy. I'm looking for mints. 1 mint is fine, but once you eat 10, it's no good, right? So definitely making sure we get sleep. So those are some of the things that we can do even before we get into exercise that will help us to start losing weight. But sleep, I tell everybody, please, please, please don't underscore the power of sleep. It is so powerful. Plus you feel better, you work out better, you have more energy. So
I didn't know that about the craving sugar because you're tired. No idea. Maybe that's why, I want the coffee, or when I was at work, when I was at the office. I work at home now, But when I was in the office, I would hit that vending machine so fast at a certain time, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3, 4.
Yep.
I would hit the vending machine, and me and my coworker Michelle, we would always, she would come up to my desk and be like, "You want anything, girl? I'm tired. I got to go get me something."
Yep.
And now it makes perfect sense now.
And then you're better off, like if you feel that way, there's nothing wrong with fueling your body, but you're better off even having like a small healthy meal. Like you're better off having a banana or having a protein yogurt. There's a protein yogurt called Ratio that's very good. It's like high in protein, moderate carbohydrates, hardly no sugar. So anything I recommend is, trust me, it's tested. I use it. So Ratio is good. So it's okay to fuel yourself because that's your body's way of telling you, hey, I need something. It's just a matter of what we pick. So I would say eat something because your body is crashing. So you have to put it in your body. But it's just what you choose. That's it. That's it. So you just have and those Ratio yogurts are only like $1.66. Like they're so cheap.
Oh wow.
Everything I do is budget friendly.
Yes.
I want to stay healthy and save money too. So yeah, is budget friendly. All right, so let's get into the exercise part.
Okay.
Before we get into the actual exercises, I want to show you guys a few pieces of equipment that will be helpful for you to have at home if you can get them. Now, I know one of the things that a lot of people with MS and different diagnoses may have is their ability to grip, right? So for some of us, we can use weights, and that's good when we do like a seated workout, but for some of us, we can't. So this is one of the coolest things that I ever found. This is like I'm going to put it on so you guys can see it. So instead of having to hold a weight, this is like a weighted glove that you put on. Okay. So this, instead of having to grip a weight, you don't have to grip a weight. You put the glove on your hand, and this is what
glove. Wow.
Yeah. You see that? And this is what adds resistance. So this is good. So when a couple years ago, when I had that accident and I had wrist issues, I could not grip the weight. So this was my solution. So this is what I'm talking about, not giving up and finding a way around it. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't hold a weight right now, but I can wear a weight. So, and then you can do the same thing if you can't find the gloves. Well, these you can find on Amazon. But even if you're not comfortable with these, just some wrist weights are good. But I like these because they don't slide down. They stay in place. And they come in like 1, 2, 5, 7. They go all the way up to like 10 pounds.
Okay.
I haven't got there yet. This is only still 2 pounds.
Amazing.
2 pounds so these are very good. So that's one thing. Another thing is, I don't know if anyone has ever seen these. Okay, this is called, for lack of it's a leg band, but it's commonly known as a booty band. That's what they call it. So what I like about this, and that's why I want to show you this before I get into these few exercises, is because this is so great if you want to strength train, but you don't have weights at home, right? So if I'm sitting in a chair, right, I don't have any weights. This is great, and they come in all types of sizes. So this is the heavy band. So they have a light band, a medium band, and a heavy band in terms of resistance. And this is something you can do. So as you notice, wow, now I'm working my legs.
Right.
Out. And then even with having this on your leg, if you pull it up more, further up the thigh, and you extend the leg out, okay, there is some resistance on the thigh when you use this.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of things with this. I mean, and it's so versatile. You can come to the edge of the chair, and now we're doing knee lifts, right? So now we're getting that resistance, and we're working the front part of the legs. This thing is like so versatile. Now, when we start getting into more cardio things, right? Let's say let's say you've been doing body weight exercises, you haven't been using the equipment, and you want to find a way to add some resistance. If we were doing, like, say, chair jumping jack. So a chair jumping jack is like this, right? You can just use your arms, or you can use your legs, right? So now we just added resistance to that, and now we are increasing our fat burning, right? So fat burning starts at between 100 beats per minute and 120 beats per minute. And I have good news for you. If you think you need to get a high heart rate to burn fat. You don't. Fat burning occurs at a lower heart rate, right? When you see people doing sprinting and sprinting and marathon running, the system that they're using inside their body is that's a sugar system. That's sugar in their muscles. When we're just walking and we're doing low resistance things like that, and your heart rate is low, that is the fat burning zone. That's why you have a lower heart rate at the fat burning zone. So if you thought that you cannot burn fat at a lower heart rate, that is scientifically incorrect. You totally can. They'll even tell you, if you want to burn more fat, you do steady state cardio. Steady state is when you kind of stay at the same pace for the entire time. That's when you get into the fat burning zone, because once your body has depleted all the sugar in the muscles, it's going to go right into the fat. But because you're staying here, your body feels comfortable enough to go into those fat stores and get that fat. So I just wanted to clear up that myth that you think you can't burn fat if you're doing low. Yes, you can.
You know what? That's funny. I was going to ask something in that zone about, because I like you how you I can do this fast, but my legs don't go as fast. So, I guess that would be my thing, is like, what if I don't move as fast? And I think that would be, everybody's question. What if I don't move as fast? But you just answered that question. So thank you.
You don't have to. You don't have to. In fact, there is a type of strength training called isometric strength training. So during COVID, right? First of all, I taught all of COVID and never got COVID, right? Then my husband went to some random meeting and brought home COVID. After teaching kids, my whole class was getting quarantined. I just wasn't catching it. And so I finally, caught it, and it threw me for a loop. Like I couldn't, my breathing was staggered. It was like really, really bad. It was really bad. So after the first 3 or 4 days, I said, okay, I got to get up and try to do something. And so you can do something called isometric strength training. And what that is it's when you don't use resistance and your body is a resistance. For example, if you just, I'm going to slide back a little bit. If you just lift your leg and squeeze your leg, right? You're squeezing the muscle. You're still working the muscle, right? If you take your arm and you just hold it like this, right? And you decide, I'm just going to hold my arm like this for 30 seconds, you are still doing resistance training. You're just squeezing the muscle, because when you do resistance training, the muscle is built, the fat is burned in the squeezing of the muscle, right? So when you do isometric training is when you isolate the muscles, you're just squeezing. You're doing the exact same thing. If I was to do a pull down, right? I put my hands over my head and I just come and I just hold this pull. I'm squeezing the muscle. I'm working the muscle. I'm burning calories. I'm burning fat, just like this. If I take my arms and I squeeze them and I just decide to hold them like this, I'm squeezing the muscle. I'm holding the muscle. So I want to kind of blow away that misconception that we need to be using equipment in order to be getting a good workout. That is so not true. So you can definitely that's what I did during that period. I did isometric strength training, where I would just get into a pose and I would just hold it. I would just sit on the chair and I would just squeeze my abs. Like, for those of us that sit at a desk, you can just sit at a desk and you can just squeeze your abdominals. If you drive, every time that you're at a stoplight, you can just squeeze your abdominals. You can squeeze your whole body. You can tighten up your whole body. You are still working your muscles. So that's some ways that we can lose weight with limited mobility. It's not always about, lifting weights and things of that nature. Also, too, if you're, at your desk, you can stand up and you can just squeeze your body. You can just tighten your body. Think of it like this. When we are cold and we are shivering, even though we're not exercising per se, we're burning a lot of calories because we're shivering. So that's the same concept with isometric strengthening. You're just squeezing the muscles and you're holding them, and the muscles are tightening in the same way when you do resistance training. So that's that. So this band is really good, and these are super inexpensive. You can find these. I'm gonna say everything's on Amazon, because that's the world we live in, right? Everything's on Amazon.
What's that called again? What is that called?
If you can I don't want to say leg bands, because if you get leg bands, you'll get those little skinny ones, and the thicker ones are better because the skinny ones tend to cut into your legs, and We got meat, girl. We can't be having those. We can't be having no little skinny bands. So these are much better, and these work a larger part of the leg. So if you type in booty bands on Amazon, they'll definitely come up, and they come in all types of colors. Usually you could get a set of 3 for like 12 to 15 bucks, and they're really good. Like I said, they go from light, medium, and heavy resistance. So that is really good. So we can use that. The next thing that I want to introduce you to is, now these are weights that we can put on our ankles, right? So we can put them on our ankles. So I'll just put one on, and I'm going to show you guys some exercise in a minute. I just want to get through this equipment stuff so you can see that you have options, right? Now these can be worn on your legs or on your wrists, wherever you feel comfortable, right? So this is when I'm going to turn to the side, and we can get some leg extensions going on here. Right? We can get some leg extensions. Now you can put it on both legs, and you can do like this, or you can take both of them if you want more resistance, put it on one leg, do 10 on this leg, then switch it up and do 10 on that leg, okay? And you take your time. So that would be a seated exercise. Now, if we were to stand up, right? Now, when I say stand up, it can be chair assisted, it can be your countertop, it can be your bed, it can be your couch, it can just be anything that will give you support, right? So now we can hold on, and now we can do some leg lifts in the back. We can do some side leg lifts. Well, you guys really can't see that, but I'm doing a side leg lift.
I see it.
The weight is not on it. So there's a lot of things you can do. You can hold on, okay, knees up, right? So now we're working the abdominals as well as the front part of the legs, and also assisted squats, right? So if you don't have any knee issues, and even if you do, so I don't do traditional squats anymore just because my knees do not agree with them. So a lot of times if I do squats, anytime I do squats, it is an assisted squat. I'm holding onto a chair, I'm holding onto a countertop, I'm balancing myself on the bed, and I'm tightening my abs, and then I'm just gonna sit and stand. Sit and stand. Sit and stand. And let me tell you something. That is just as effective as doing a squat that it's not an assistance, okay? Wonderful. So the key is time under tension. So what you want to do is when you're doing your exercise, you want to go slow down, slow up. What I learned is to say a 3-word sentence. So I'm going to say, I love Jesus. I love Jesus. I love Jesus. I love Jesus. I used to say I love ice cream, but then afterwards I want to eat ice cream. I stopped saying that. I'm like, why do I want to eat ice cream? So that's one of the ways you can use that. And then finally, the last piece of equipment. I mean, there's tons of equipment, but I just wanted to give you some little. These resistance bands are great. Okay. I mean, you can buy these anywhere. You can buy these. I don't know if you guys are near a store called Five Below, but Five Below sell these for like $3 or $4. And there's so many ways you can use this. Now with this, you can use it sitting in the chair. You just put your foot on it. And then now this is the heavy one, so it's really heavy. So I'm struggling. Okay. So you can just sit there and you can do one at a time, whatever works for you. You can also take this, right? Just giving you some ideas here. You can wrap this behind the chair and you can do this, right? A lot of times you want to anchor it to something else or tie it real good, because if you do that, it'll rise up and pop you in the back, and you don't get popped in the back. But normally what you can do is, most of them come with a little string in the back. This one didn't come with, where you can put it on a doorknob and you can use the doorknob for counterbalance, or you can tie a knot around the doorknob and you can do it for counterbalance. So there's tons of things you can do with this. But now I want to get into some chair exercises really quickly. Now this part, I'm going to take you guys through it, and I want you to try to go with me at your own pace, okay? At your own pace. So I want to go through a few, I want to go through a few exercises that we can do. Let's start with the chair. So first one, let's start with seated. So the first one is, let's get with upper body. So we got our arm circles, right? This seems so harmless, but if you do these arm circles for 30 seconds, after a while, your shoulders, your back you start to feel it.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
yeah. And then of course, we can go on a reverse, right? So this
Mhm.
is just focusing on the upper body. We're not even adding the lower body yet, right? So we can do all these upper body things and then add the lower body. So we got that. Then the next thing we got marching, right? So again, no weight. You can put some weight on. You can put those weighted gloves that I showed you on earlier. If you don't have weights and you have these, you can hold them in your hand. Then, of course, we add the knees. And let me tell you, I did these exercises for 6 months, 3 years ago, while I recuperated from having a bone spur that got out of control because I didn't realize that it was that bad, and then it got really bad, and then my leg was swollen, and then I was telling my husband, I was like, I think this is bad because my leg's been swollen for 3 weeks. Come down the stairs. So this is really good. So something like this, and I recommend you do maybe, and it depends on where you are. So you can start with like 20 seconds, and then 20 seconds rest, and then 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest. So however many seconds you work for, give yourself that amount of time and rest, right? So that's a good way to get started. All right, so that's that. The next one I want to do, there's so many, guys. I want to try to get through as many as I can. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I want to get through as many as we can. All right. Oh, this is one of my favorite. All right. So punches, right? Definitely. I mean, that's standard. We can punch across, we punch it over, right? And it's all about, how much time you do it for. So that is definitely up to you. And please do not think that you are not burning calories because you are using so many muscles. So you have all of your arm muscles, you have your shoulder muscles, you have your chest muscles, you have your back muscles. All of those muscles are working. And then, when we really want to get fancy, we can add those knees in there. Look at that. Just add those knees in there for more resistance. That's it. And if you want to watch and copy, I promise you by the time we get finished doing this, you don't be wasted. All right. Another one we can do is here, right? Seems harmless, seems like nothing, right? So we add our legs to it, right? Our legs are going out. There we go. Legs are going out. And even if you can't move fully out, that's okay. You move as much as you can to your level of flexibility, and then you stop, and then you rest, and you rest for as much time as you need to recuperate. Like I said, 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, whatever works for you. When Minister Christina, Pastor Christina invites me back on, we'll talk about the timing of your exercise, right, to lose weight. Right now I want to go through some of those different exercises. So we got that, right? And then now we got here, right? So we start with a basic bicep curl, right? Very basic, right? That's how we start with the arms. And when we get good, we add the knees. We just pick the knees up just like that. Pick the knees up just like that. Now, let's say, for example, you can't pick the knees up. That's okay. You could just tap your foot out side to side. You're just tapping out side to side, right? That's it. Side to side. Also, now remember, you're wearing a lot of clothes, right? You got all your clothes on. You turned off your air conditioning a little bit so you could get a little bit of more of a sweat if that suits you. Now, if you're going through the perimenopause, I don't know, you might not be able to survive that because, I had to back off of that some because I'm sweating. I'm sweating. It's crazy. All right, that's good. The other thing is overhead, right? We can do 2 arms or we can do 1 arm. Just sitting down, 2 arms or 1 arm, right? And again, we can add lifting the knee or taking the leg out side to side. That's it, right? Now in my head, I'm thinking about staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive. That's what I'm thinking about. And here's the key to making this work. The key to making this work is getting you some upbeat music, some music that's going to motivate you, some music that's going to inspire you. Put that thing on and let it go. And let me tell you something, even if you take your favorite song, you can do what's called a favorite song workout. So a favorite song workout is basically, most favorite songs are like 4 or 5 minutes long. So you can choose 2 exercises, right? And during the chorus part, you do one thing, and during the verse part, you do something else. And you can do that for about 5 minutes. And I promise you, you will get a good workout. Now, imagine if you did that every day or every other day for 5 or 6 minutes. Your fitness is definitely going to go to another level. That's one of the things that I taught my students to do during COVID. It's called a favorite workout. Just pick 2 exercises and just go for it for 5 minutes. That's it. So that's one of the ways that we can stay motivated, and pick a different song every single time. So that would be good too. All right. So next up, we're going to do some standing stuff. Yeah, I want to do some standing stuff. All right. So let's stand up. Let's say we can stand up and we're behind the chair. So supported or standing. One of the things that we can do with the chair, don't do it with a rolly chair like I got, guys. That's not a good idea. But so it doesn't move. So we can do those chair push-ups. Okay. We can also do it on a bed or with the wall, right? So use the support that you have, right? Because it's better to do it right and to use the support than to do it wrong and to injure yourself, right? Then you're not gonna be exercising at all. So that's one way to do it. All right. Again, as we said earlier, the squats, just holding on, just standing up and sitting down. Okay, that's good. 2. Also, I'm turning the chair towards you. Another thing we can do is hold on, leg lifts. Okay, this is very good. I'm going to tell you, this is one of the best exercises to do standing up. And hear me well. You do not have to lift your leg high. It's okay if you cannot lift your leg high. Just get it as high as you can, side to side. And what that is doing is that is working your obliques. All of this up in here, especially if you're tightening your stomach, you're holding your stomach. Remember that isometric hold, and you just lifting. Okay? And then you can also, same thing with the chair, you lean forward and you just lift. Okay? Just lift. That's it. So that's some of the things that we can do standing. And by the way, guys, I got a bonus for you. If you want a list of all of these, I'm gonna send it to Christina, Pastor Christina, and she's gonna send it to you guys.
You
so don't
just
worry.
read my mind, because I just said I was gonna ask you. You had a list, so
I have a list. So whatever we don't get to tonight, I promise you, because let me tell you, I got about like 60 exercises.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I will send you guys a list, and if you DM me because you don't know how to do something, I'll show it to you. That's not a big deal. All right, so we got that. The next one that I want to do is, let's see, because I want to make sure we did arm circles, we did standing knee raises, we did hip circles. All right, lying down exercises. So we did some stuff in the chair, we did some stuff holding the chair, lying down. Let's say you're bedridden. Let's say you cannot, stand. That's perfectly fine. There's so many things you can do laying down. So I want to just make sure you guys can see me. All right. Let me make sure. Can you guys see me? All right.
That's better right there. Yep.
All right. So the first thing we're going to do lying down is, these are called glute bridges. So you just lay down on the floor and you just lift up your hips. That's it. You just lift up your hips. That's it. Okay? So if that's what you can do, that is perfectly fine. Also, you can lie down in a bed and you punch the ceiling. Okay? You just lie down in the bed and just reach for the ceiling. That's it. And then the other thing you can do is overhead. No weights required. If you have weights, that's great. Okay? But you don't need them. And again, you're putting on your favorite song, that song that's going to motivate you, that song that's going to make you move a little faster. I will tell you this, music is so powerful. Once you put on the music, your body is going to naturally go to the beat. So that's going to help you burn more calories and lose more weight, because now you're moving a little bit faster than you would if you didn't have the music. So another thing that you can do, this is a lying down march. So we're here, right? So we're bringing the knees up. Now we're working the abs. Now we're working the legs. Now we're working the arms. We are working every single thing. Okay? And then also you're supported by the bed or the floor, wherever you're laying down on. So you do not have to stand in order to work out. Here's another good one. Just extending the leg. Remember we talked about those leg weights earlier? Just putting some leg weights on and just doing this. And we're just kicking the air. That's it. Just kicking the air. That's it. Now, if you're in a place where you're strong enough to be able to sit up, you can just take yourself and come up, touch, and lay back down. That's a full body. Okay, try doing that like 10 times. Trust me, it's good. Okay, just up, if that's something that you can do, okay, you're working your abdominals, you're working your lower back, you're working your chest, you're working your hamstrings, because your hamstrings are assisting in the back to pull your body up. So I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. So, but I have a list of all these exercises that I want to send you guys, because I think this is some good stuff and I think you will enjoy it. All right, now here's another one. Oh, this is my favorite. How can I forget this? All right, so we're talking about some chest flies, right? You just lay down on the bed. Same thing you would do in the gym with a bench. You don't even need any weight. Okay, just doing this to your favorite song right here. There we go. Here's another one. Okay, arms alternating. Right? Now, let me tell you something about alternating movements. Anytime you use alternating movements, you're going to burn more calories, because now your muscles have to think a little bit more like, what is she doing? What is he doing? It's a little confusing for your muscles, so your muscle takes a little bit more energy when you're doing alternating movements. My heart rate is going up now, and I'm just laying on the floor. My heart rate is up. I wish I had my watch on so I could show y'all, but my heart rate is going up, okay? So all of these things you can do on the floor. And last but certainly not least, I want to talk about some chair. If you've been doing good in your chair exercises, but you're not comfortable getting rid of your chair just yet, just doing something like standing up and sitting down.
Yeah.
Now we're using the arm and we're just standing up and sitting down, right? This becomes more of a functional movement, but functional movements still burn calories. Okay, you're still losing weight when you're doing functional movements.
What is a functional movement? What is
So
that?
functional movement are when you do activities of everyday living.
Gotcha.
So, for example, when you do exercises that mimic everyday living activities, like for example, if you are taking something out of the closet, right? That's a functional movement.
Gotcha.
Right? If you're picking something up and putting it up, functional movement, right? So for all of my basketball lovers, right? Okay. That's it. That's why I said I have to send you guys a list, because I got like exercises on there. But most of them are self-explanatory. These are called washing machines. You just sit in the chair, abs tight, and you just twist side to side, side to side. You are working your entire core. And if you want to get fancy, now you pick up your legs. Now you're working a little bit harder. Okay, you want to get more fancy, a little bit more, you add some resistance. You want to get more fancy, you put on the band. So it's all about progressive overload. So you start small and then you progress little by little. But I can send that all to you. I want you to have this. So I don't know if you have it.
There's a question. Yes, there is a question right here. Tanya says, what if one side is paralyzed? Is there any benefit to just doing an exercise on a good side of your body?
Absolutely. Because that side of your body will support the other side of your body. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. What do you mean by that? One side.
So in other words, if you have a strong, now biomechanically, generally we want to always work the weaker side, right? Because when we have a weaker side, it leans more strength onto our stronger side. But in a situation where there's paralysis, you want to strengthen the stronger side. And then you want to do what you can on the weaker side, whatever that is. But you don't want your stronger side to atrophy. So you definitely want to work. Whatever it is you can do, that's what you do. If it's all it is lifting and going side to side and moving side to side, that's what you do. And so that's why I added the part about like kind of wearing more clothes and doing things to elevate your body temperature, making sure you're sleeping, making sure you're drinking water, because all of those things, in addition to exercise, help you lose weight. People tend to focus on the exercise, but what people don't know is if you exercise but you don't do all the other stuff, the progress is much slower than if you add those things. Like I know a lot of people that exercise, but they can't lose weight because they're not kind of doing the other stuff, right? So
Right.
no matter what state your body is in, if you're doing the other things mentally, emotionally, getting the sleep, getting the water, putting the right things in your body, then the exercise just becomes, oh, this is the exercise becomes like the cherry on the icing on the cake, so to speak.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
one more question with Saint Tanya. Will your list tell us what part of the body we are exercising?
Yes. So the way that I fleshed it out is like upper body and lower body. But if you want specific muscles, if you send me the exercise, say, hey Pandora, what does this specific muscle work out? I can totally tell you. So if you get the list and you want to DM me, I'm on Facebook. I'm Pandora K on Facebook. So if you get the list and you want to DM me on Facebook and say, hey, what muscles does this specifically work? I'll be more than happy to tell you, because when you go through the list, the reason why I wanted the list to be like a buffet where you could kind of pick the ones that work for you. And then you can reach out to me and say, hey, I want to work this. This is what I'm able to do. Which one of these exercises would be best for me? That way it's more broad, and then you can decide, you can pick and choose what's best for you.
Okay, we have one here. Not wanting to lose weight. Marla, do you mean like you just want to work out, but you don't necessarily want to lose weight? Because I guess that's what she's meaning. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. She
Oh,
said she
I
doesn't.
thought you were reading her question.
Yeah, that's
I'm
it. Not
sorry.
one. I was
She
scared. I was
doesn't.
like, oh shoot. Yeah, she's saying that she doesn't want to necessarily lose weight, but she still wants to work out. Like, how does she
Okay,
not
so
lose weight?
I mean, listen, you're in the best possible. you're in a good space. Most people that work out, they want to lose weight. So for you, this is more about mobility, flexibility, and just feeling overall good. All of these exercises will be good. So for example, if it's not necessarily your goal to lose weight and you just want to move your body because you like the feeling of moving your body, any of these exercises would be good. The other stuff, in addition to the exercises, is really what's going to help us to lose weight. But if you're just like at a place of maintenance and you're just saying, hey, I just want to move my body, you can use any of these. And you can do it at a slower pace. You can do it less often. Like, there's a lot of different variables. Like, for most people that want to lose weight, I would say start out, especially if you're a beginner, start out with like 10 minutes every other day. And then what you want to do, that's where that progressive overload comes in. So for someone like yourself who's not necessarily looking into losing weight, you might not have to do progressive overload as much as someone else. Which what means is, as you get stronger, you make it more challenging. You might just be like, I'm just going to stick to this. I'm going to be in the middle. But for those of us that kind of want to, keep losing weight or changing the way our body looks, we would every 6 weeks, we would try to find a way to make that particular exercise or that routine a little bit more challenging, because God made the body in such an amazing way. He made it to adapt. So after you've been doing like a routine for 6 weeks, you're doing great. Your body's used to it, but you're not burning as many calories doing it just because your body got used to it. You just got stronger. That's it.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Pandora, you gave us so much information and such good exercises to do. A lot of those things I had learned in physical therapy, like the stand up, sit down, or like you said, it was functional, or the side kicks. A lot of those things I remember they told us to do that in a physical therapy. So it's really good stuff. I would sometimes occasionally and a physical therapist told me I would make my coffee, and while my coffee was dripping, then I would go to the sink and do squats or do something
Yes.
the whole time, because it took like 3 minutes for that, and it was just like a fact of just doing something while my coffee was dripping.
And not only that, heel raises are good too. Like, even if you're sitting at your desk, I remember a while ago I did a workout, like a desk workout or something, like if you're sitting at your desk, but just taking your feet and like just going on your tippy toes like this, just doing that, just lifting your heels. Like, when I lift my heels, I feel that in my calves,
Yeah.
I feel my hamstrings, and then I'm tightening my abs, and just doing that. I'm at my desk, I'm just typing, I'm just doing some heel raises, or I'm under my desk, and like you said, I'm just doing like leg extension. And now I want you to try this. If you ever did a leg, because we're used to doing like this, you hold it out and try squeezing it for about 10 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, just hold it, right? And
Nice.
trust the next day you can feel it the next day. So just sometimes even it's not even the amount of repetition. Sometimes it's just okay. I'm just gonna try to hold this for like 20 seconds.
Okay.
See how far I can go with
Well,
that. And after
awesome.
a while, you will start noticing that your legs are starting to lean out and you're starting to see muscle. It's gonna be beautiful. I'm telling you.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. Wow. So just encourage a person out there right now to keep going. So it's like we're living with disabilities or chronic illness, not living with it, but we were
Yeah.
diagnosed with these things. So how would you tell someone or encourage someone to stay motivated?
So I would say this, and I know this is gonna sound counterintuitive. We're not gonna always be motivated.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can accept the fact that motivation is a feeling and it comes and goes, and it's more about just getting up and doing something. If you feel unmotivated, just say, you know what, I'm just gonna do one squat, right? If you get up and you say, I'm gonna do one squat, more than likely you're gonna do more than one squat. So just tell you, a lot of it is psyching yourself out. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. A lot of it is psyching yourself out. And as long as I've been doing fitness, I still have to get up every morning and psych myself out and say, okay, alarm goes off at 3:30 a.m. I have to say, get your butt out the bed. You're gonna do one push-up. And of course, once you do the one push-up, you're like, okay, I'm up now. So I want us to understand that motivation is not going to always be there. So once we embrace that, it now becomes I'm going to do it even when I'm not motivated, right?
Okay.
Because feelings change, days change. Most days I'm not even gonna lie, most days I don't feel motivated. Most days I want to sleep. I want to stay in my bed for like a half an hour, especially when I get up and everyone else in my house is sleeping and I'm looking at them and I'm mad like they still enjoying some sweet sleep and I'm up here going to gym. So it's not about it. You won't always be motivated and focusing on what. Do not focus on what you cannot do, because what you cannot do at the moment you cannot change. But
Yeah.
what you can change is what you can do. So all those years when I had different injuries and different things and different limitations, in the beginning it's upsetting because yes, and we compare ourselves to other people. You cannot compare yourself to anyone else, and you can only do what you can do. Your body is only designed the way that it's designed to move. You will never be someone else, no matter how good they look, no matter how wonderful their physique is. Even if you worked out the same way they worked out, you're never going to look like that person because you're not them, you're you. So we have to resign to the fact that we are who we are and focus on what we can do, and do it because you love yourself, not because you hate yourself. Like
Mm,
I'm going to move because I love myself. I'm going to
right.
move because I love my body. I'm not going to move as a form of punishment because I ate a piece of cake or because I ate some chicken. No, we're not punishing ourselves. We're loving ourselves, because when we get into that mindset that exercise is punishment, we don't want to do it. We
Oh,
don't want
wow. I
to do it.
love that. Yep. One more question. Should a person exercise their legs if they have arthritis in their legs?
Yes. So the type of exercises that you do may be a little bit different. So if I'm not sure who asked that question, but if that person wants to DM me and I can give them specific exercises that they can do in the event that it's more isometric strengthening more than resistance training. So if that person wants like some more guidance, they can DM me. But yes, you can. Yes,
Okay.
it's
Wonderful.
about the way you do it and the type. There are certain exercises that you shouldn't do, but I can give you a list of exercises you can do under those circumstances.
All right. That's my mother-in-law.
Yeah, okay, I got you, mother-in-law. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, and then Yvonne just says she had to psych herself out to ride her bike. She's been riding her exercise bike every day, and getting more and more, longer. I guess Yvonne, you say every day she's been doing it, and so that's very good. That's very good. I like that. Yeah.
And also too, changing it up. Like I think sometimes we get in such a regimen. I don't know what it is about us. Like we feel like we have to do the same thing every day. You do not. Whenever I notice that I'm starting to get into a place where it's like kind of a rut, so to speak, where Like, I don't want to do it. I just change it up. Well, you know what? I'm not going to go to the gym today. I'm going to do Tai Bo. I'm not going to go to the gym today. I'm going to do like put on a dance thing, because the idea is to do something, and that usually puts me back on track. So when I feel like I'm getting bored or it's getting monotonous, try something different, try a new group, try a new video, try a new exercise, try something different, try something new. And it's so funny because when I had my last injury, I know this is going to sound weird, but I was actually excited to do chair exercises because I hadn't done them in so long. And I know that even though I'm sitting in a chair, they're still effective. So it was just, it shook it up for me. Now I get to do something different, and this is what I can do for this. And then I get to take a break from the gym and I can just do this. So just finding different things and do what you like to do. Like, that cannot be overstated. If you like to dance, if you like certain music and that's your thing, find what you like to do. Do a different movement every day. Upper body one day, lower body one day, abs, break it up. Do something different every day. You don't have to do the same thing every day.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, Charlena just says, Pandora, thank you for putting words to my praise chair dances, because they are definitely a fitness workout for sure. She does praise. I'm sure you've seen her videos. Yep. So that's something she can incorporate, right?
Workout. Woo.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yep. And then Yvonne just says, yeah, she does that. She switches it up. She switches it up and goes up and down her steps, down her hallway to change it up, because she was not going to continue to keep doing it.
That's it.
I hear you.
Whenever that day that you wake up and you say, I don't want to do this, do something different.
Gotcha.
The morning you wake up and you like, and because sometimes we have something and I'm guilty of that. Like, I'll like something and I'll be liking, and then one day I'll be like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's like, I call it exercise ADHD, where where I got to switch it up a little bit, and then I just switch and I'll do something different. Like, I've had my routine. You're talking about doing this for over 25 years at this point. So at some point there are points of boredom, or whatever. So I just change it up. That's it. Get with a group of friends, go work out with someone different. Sometimes I switch gyms. I'll just go pay $10 and go to a different gym. Like, I don't want to go to just, so man, this journey is so amazing. Just get to know yourself, know what works for you, and just make your own journey. Carve out your own path. Your path does not have to look like anyone else's, and your journey it is your personal journey. Make it yours. And the final thing, this is a big thing, and I know I said it before, do not compare yourself to other people.
That's right. That's the biggest thing.
Enemy. Because you're looking at other people, and then you're getting these feelings. And don't get me wrong, I have been there and done that. It doesn't work. You can only be the best you. So you focus on being the best you can be, because that's all you can be, because that's who God made you. You can't look like, who did I used to love? I used to love Jennifer Lopez. I can't be like Jennifer. I'm never going to look like Jennifer Lopez, okay? I'm only going to look like Pandora K. So that's what God gave me. So that's what I got to work with.
Awesome. Thank you so much. What a wonderful show. Everybody is loving it. This was good, because it motivates us as well, because we're like, wow, can we lose weight? Can we move? Can we do things without and not saying without physical therapy, but without asking for a prescription and paying a $30, $20, $50 copay every time. You guys stay motivated, because what's going to happen is I go to physical therapy and they're going to say, continue doing this at home. So I'm going to do the same thing you just taught.
So here's what I would love to do. If you would bring me back on again, I want to do a full show of just exercise, where we just get on and we just exercise, and everybody just goes at their own pace.
I would love that.
You do what you can do and what you can't do. And you know me, I'm the modification queen. So I'm always going to give you like 5 different ways to do it. So I'm like, okay, if you can't do it like this, but I would love to come back on and just us do like maybe a 20-minute workout together. I would love to do that.
I would love for you to do that. Yes. And maybe I'll go side by side and do a little bit of it with you.
Yes.
Because when you were doing it, I was doing it. I was like, oh, okay, I can do this.
So that's if we get on and we do it together, I think that would be very motivating, because I want us to focus on what we can do. I want us to get that can't out of our vocabulary. So I would love to come back on and just make a whole show, maybe not a whole show of it, because I don't know where everyone is, but at least get a good 20 minutes in, so you guys can sweat, so you can see, hey, I'm sweating here. This really does work. And we would do chair and assisted, everything chair and assisted.
I love it. We'll talk about that whenever you are ready, because I have spots available. So let's get it.
Listen, you just let me know. I'm ready.
Let's get it. Yes, anytime. And maybe one or two of my friends here can come on with me. We can all kind of be
bring the friends in. The more the better.
I like that. All right, everyone. So Pandora, she is Pandora K on Facebook. So hit her up. Let her, be motivated. You can DM her. She already told you that. So do that. If you have any questions, other questions, it's such a help to have somebody who can, minister in that way, because it's ministry. It's your ministry, right?
To God be
what is it called? I'm sorry.
Fit for the kingdom.
Thank you. Fit for the kingdom. It's fit for the kingdom. So let's get there, because God wants us to honor our bodies, right? He wants us to be healthy still. And, incorporate the word. I have one even in better for you guys. When you're doing those things, she said, make a sentence. Why don't you put a scripture in there if you want to? Why don't you put, by his stripes I am healed.
I love
by
it.
His stripes I am healed. By his stripes I am healed. Like, punch it out. By his stripes I am healed. And he sent his word to heal me. Like, incorporate the word with it. Why not? And then, get it. Let's get it. Amen. Oh, wonderful, Pandora. Once again, thank you. And let's talk off live, so that we can schedule another one where we can do these exercises. All right.
Hey, I love it.
Amen. Yeah, Zoom. Yeah, Yvonne. It'll probably be better on Zoom. Like, it still goes to YouTube, but it'll probably be the platform Zoom. We'll talk about all that. All right, guys. We love it. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Have a good night.
Have a wonderful night.
Amen.